Today is the feast of Santo Niño. The feast of the Santo Niño falls on every third Sunday of January. Santo Niño are Spanish words. Santo means holy, Niño means child. Therefore, Feast of the Santo Niño is also called the Feast of the Holy Child, Jesus. It is a joyful celebration. It is full of gladness and happiness. And this Feast of Santo Niño, it's like an extension of Christmas season. The Santo Niño de Cebu is a 1-foot-long wooden image of a baby Jesus standing, portrayed as a child king. He holds in his left hand a globe, and on his right a sceptre. He wears a combination of red and gold vestments, a golden crown, golden boots, and has golden gloves on his hands. This is the Basilica of the Santo Niño in Cebu. It was only in 1735 when the first stone was laid down to build the concrete church that is still standing today. So if you go to Cebu, you can find and see this beautiful and ancient basilica. Historically, on March 16, 1521, a Portuguese explorer named Ferdinand Magellan came to the Philippines. He was a Portuguese, but he went there under the banner of Spain. And that trip of Magellan was called Magellan's Expedition. They went to the Orient, to the East. We have to remind ourselves that when Magellan and some other companions went to the Orient, they had 3 purposes or goals of going to the Orient. And these purposes can be summarized into 3 G's. The first G is God, to proclaim God, to evangelize the people. The next G is gold, in order to have more resources, to become rich. And the last G is glory, for the glory of the kingdom of Spain, so that they will become famous and popular all over the world. On April 14, 1521, the first Mass on the shore of Cebu province was celebrated. It was celebrated by Father Pedro Valderrama, a missionary priest who journeyed with Magellan. After the Mass, Magellan planted a wooden cross on the same day, and 800 Cebuanos were converted to Christianity. They were baptized after that celebration of the Holy Mass. The baptism of Bra Humabon's wife, Hara Humanay, was very historical. She was the first Filipino queen to espouse the Catholic faith. She was named Juana after the mother of King Charles of Spain. After the Cebu Queen's baptism, Magellan gave her an image of the child Jesus as a gift. This image is preserved to the present day and is the patron of Cebu. So if you go to the Basilica of Santo Niño, you can always see this image of the Santo Niño, the gift that Raho Manay received after baptism. In the Holy Mass, the guzos is sung. Peculiar to this song, which every devotee of the Santo Niño de Cebu knows, is the raising and waving of hands during its chorus. It's beautiful and wonderful. It's really a remarkable sight and experience if you are there singing these gozos as you raise and wave your hands with the other pilgrims. And in the gozos, in the chorus, it is said there, kanamo maluoy kaunta nga kanimo nang hilaba. As you wave and raise your hands. Kanamo maluoy kaunta means have mercy on us. Nga kanimo nang hilaba. It means we are earnestly pray or we are beseeching to the child Jesus. The Gospels contains a historical and devotional encounter between the Santo Niño and the Cebuanos. And there's a particular tradition or culture that Cebuanos are doing during this feast of the Santo Niño. It is popularly called as Sinulog. Sinulog is the ritual prayer dance honoring Senor Santo Niño or the Holy Child Jesus. Sinulog is a dance of thanksgiving. We give thanks to the Santo Niño for all the benefits and graces that we receive, like good health, good harvest, good job, peace, prosperity, and the like. It's not only thanksgiving, it's also a prayer of petitions. As we dance, we also beseech, we also pray to the Lord, to the Holy Child, to grant our request. Sinulog dance moves 2 steps forward and 1 step backward to the sound of the drums. This movement resembles the current. Current means sulog in Cebuano. Thus in Cebuano, it's Sinulog. During this feast of the Santo Niño, pilgrims, all the people are shouting, praying, Viva, Pit Senor, Viva, Senor Santo Niño. Pit comes from the Cebuano word sangpit, so it's a constructed word. And sangpit means ask, you beg, you cry, you plead. And it tells us something that God will never abandon us. The Senor Santo Niño is really an Emmanuel. He is a God who is journeying with His people. He is always with us. And it's time to ponder on this feast of the Santo Niño. First, we have to ponder and meditate on the humility of God. God humbled Himself and took the form of a slave, and He came down from heaven in order to dwell with His creatures, with His people. And the first question that we have to ask ourselves, like God, and the first question that we have to ask, am I humble enough to seek for help, especially to ask help from God and our neighbors? And the next is, am I humble enough to say thank you? Thank you for being grateful. Gratitude is always the attitude of our heart. Viva, Pit Senor.